Today's episode is named, What Did I Tell You? What did I tell you? I told you Wednesday night on Commander's Demand that the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, Geno Smith, was going to have a bounce back game, a rebound game after what transpired last week against the Baltimore Ravens. Not just last week, but in 6 games. In the past 6 games, Geno Smith, past 4 to 6 games, Geno Smith was struggling. He was struggling as far as with the interceptions, because he had 7 interceptions, 9 touchdowns to 7 interceptions leading into the Commanders game. He wasn't looking like the Geno Smith of old, like last year. He was looking like the Geno Smith going back to his days with the New York Jets. I said that Geno Smith was going to have a bounce back game, not just because Seattle's the better team, they're at home, but primarily because of the Commanders' defense. They were trash in the second half, and Geno Smith just torched them in the second half. In the second half of that game, Geno Smith, just looking at the numbers into this game, 31 of 47, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and was only sacked 1 time in that game. In the second half, Geno Smith was 16 of 20 for 217 yards with 2 touchdowns. The touchdown pass to Kenneth Walker III and the one to Tyler Lockett. Geno Smith played sensational in the second half. In the first half, he didn't really get much in the first half because Seattle only settled for field goals. That was about it. Commanders defense did its part in the first half, only allowing the Seahawks to field goals. But in the second half, they were just flat out terrible. They were just terrible in the second half, and Geno Smith just torched them apart. Both Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, the two of them combined 15 receptions for 190 yards and 1 touchdown. Washington's defense gave up a total of 489 passing yards. Well, 489 total yards, I'm sorry to be exact. 489. Washington's defense in the second half looked lost. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't do anything on defense in order for them to stop the Seahawks. I just don't understand, and I just don't get it. I mean, you played this well in the first half. You did its part in the first half, and then in the second half, you look totally lost. And I don't know what more could I ask from Sam Howell. Sam Howell, and I'll get into Sam Howell later on in the show, but he played great. Your defense and Ron Rivera, I'm putting a lot of this on Ron Rivera, and I'm putting also a lot of this on Jack Del Rio as well. Because, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm putting a lot of this on Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio, you're the defensive coordinator. Ron Rivera, you're the head coach, and defense has been your signature. And your defense, primarily your secondary, has been shit all year. They've been shit. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. We've seen the Commanders' defense against the Eagles, in which Jalen Hurts has torched them. We've seen so many other games this season in which the Commanders' secondary has been just awful. Their defense leading into that game was 32nd in the National Football League. And you were coming off a victory against the New England Patriots. Mind you, one of the worst scoring offenses in the NFL. And then yesterday, they only managed to score, 6 points and lost that game to the new Indianapolis Colts. Geno Smith, look, like I said, Geno Smith was not going to have another bad game like he had against the Ravens. There was nowhere to go but up because you were going up against a lackluster, pitiful, awful defense. Let's just call it for what it is. Washington's defense has been absolutely pitiful all season. So Geno Smith was going to find a way to get his, and he did. I just don't get it with this defense. This defense has just been garbage. I mean, you let Jalen Hurts torch you. You let Tyrod Taylor torch you. I mean, come on. How bad can this defense? I mean, you're like dead last in NFL. I mean, you let Justin Fields torch you. I mean, how bad can you actually be as a football team? Also, another interesting stat right here that I'm looking at right now. This is from Next Gen Stats. The Seattle Seahawks gained 258 yards after the catch in their Week 10 victory over the Commanders, which is the second most yards after catch in a game by any offense this season. The Seahawks' 4 leading wide receivers each gained at least 40 yards after catch. This is according to Next Gen Stats. This is, I mean, oh, Jesus. I mean, this could have been a case for the Commanders. For you to go on the road against a team in which you were a 6.5 point underdogs. You were a 6.5 point underdogs leading into that game. This was a game for you after coming off a victory against the New England Patriots in which you could have won, and heck, who knows? You probably could have had a chance to keep your playoff hopes alive. And yet you showed us who we are. You showed us who you are. You showed us your true colors, Washington. You just showed us your true colors. Just how inconsistent, just how bad you are as a team. Defensively, you're just that bad.